Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. My questions without notice is directed to the Minister for Education. You'll have another one now. The Ministry of Education is made out of the Department of Education itself, libraries and archives, and the Teaching Service Commission. In 2014, Parliament commissioned an inquiry into the plight of teachers, very important issues affecting teachers in this country. The inquiry was done through a nationwide consultation led by the then member for Wabek, Honorable Robert Ganim. The Ganim Report was tabled at the National Executive Council, and 13 recommendations were made and endorsed and approved. Amongst those recommendations, I wish to just pull out two of them, which I will base my questions on. Recommendation number 9 calls for Teaching Service Commission for its financial autonomy for budget approval from the government. Recommendations number 12 calls for Teaching Service Commission to increase manpower capacity in view to run the teachers' payroll system independently by Teaching Service Commission in 2016 and 17. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Teaching Service Commission has carried out some of these recommendations, and now we are seeing that Teaching Service Commission staff are stationed in its provinces throughout the country. And also in Southern Islands, we also have our officer working in there as an advisor for Teaching Service Commission. My question, therefore, to the minister is, 1, has the Teaching Service Commission become independent, financially independent or autonomy, or given the financial autonomy to better service the welfare of the 70,000 plus teachers? And this number may increase when we are going into the reform. And they look after a big number of teachers. So do we have enough money given to the Teaching Service Commission? Question number 2. The payroll system seems to be looked after by the Education Department, while teachers are looked after by Teaching Service Commission. The recommendation here asks for the payroll to be transferred to Teaching Service Commission by 2016-2017. And I've learned that that has not happened. When will that happen? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, Minister for Education.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I wish to thank the member for Medi for his a very important series of questions. He's laid out a background for a series of questions. And I'll go straight to answering those questions. The three entities in the Education Department, which is the Ministry of Department of Education and the Teaching Service Commission and Library and Archives, all have their own acts of Parliament with defined functions. Having said that, the two agencies, the Department of Education and the Teaching Service Commission, TSC, have formed an implementation committee chaired by Chairman of TSC and Deputy Chairman from the Department of Education. They have started implementing a lot of the recommendations from that particular report. As per the Ganim Report, I wish to advise Parliament that the Department of TSC and the Department of Education has implemented most of the recommendations, while they are also in the process of reviewing some of the issues that they face as they are implementing those recommendations. They are reviewing the acts to establish a clear line of demarcations in their roles and responsibilities. TSC has had discussions with the Department of Education and the Department of Treasury on TSC becoming financially autonomous. Mr. Deputy Speaker, Treasury has given the go-ahead for TSC to have its own single-line budget. However, for this to happen in 2025, TSC has submitted a budgetary activity for Treasury to include in the 2025 budget. That's in answer to question number 1. And answer to question number 2. The entire teachers and public servants of the Department of Education salaries is managed by the Department of Education payroll system. The recommendation that was endorsed by NEC and approved by Parliament are being implemented as stated in answer to question number 1. The issue with capacity in TSC, our Teaching Service Commission, on taking on the payroll responsibilities can be resolved by collaboration between Department of Education, Department of Personnel Management, and TSC. Where there would be a requirement to transfer payroll functions with personnel, DPM would be required to approve the new structure in the TSC. Department of Education, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Department of Education currently decentralized all salary functions to the provinces except for Southern Islands Province and Gulf. The respective provinces must take charge of teachers and there's oversight on quality and efficiency of the services. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Governor for Madang. Sorry, Honourable Minister, are you still answering the question?
Okay, I think the Honourable Member gave me notice that he will ask 3 questions, so probably I missed out on the third one. The elementary teachers are still part of the teaching force. They will not leave education, the education system. These teachers will be teaching prep, grades 1 and grades 2. The TSC, the elementary teachers, basically what I'm trying to say is will still be part of the teaching force. They will be redeployed to teach prep, grade 1 and grade 2 under the 166 structure. The 17,000 elementary teachers will become primary school teachers after upgrading their qualification through further training to gain diploma in primary teaching. This training program will be conducted over several years. Salaries for current elementary teachers are being addressed by TSC, and it is now being managed. It's now manageable. Outstanding salaries for elementary teachers are liabilities to the state. TSC, in collaboration with Treasury, are working to offset these liabilities along with are outstanding entitlements for teachers. Early childhood education teachers pay, and I'll make a statement later on the issues that are being raised by the Honourable Member for Many. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.